Nice launch trajectory and countdown net. Pad is clear.
10, 9, 8.
Launch auto sequence
7,
has started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic. Stage separation confirmed. Dragon, separation confirmed. Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed.
Seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. Falcon 9. Go Falcon, go Galaxy 37. Maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Max Q.
And there's that call out. We did just pass through the point of max Q. And now we have 3 events coming up in quick succession, starting with MECO, Stage SEP, and SES-1. Main engine cutoff, or MECO, is the point during the flight where we shut down those 9 Merlin 1D engines on the first stage. Shortly after that, stages 1 and 2 will separate from each other, and that's so that the second stage isn't carrying unnecessary mass to orbit, and of course, the first stage booster begins its trip back down to Earth. Second engine start 1, or SES-1, will be when we ignite the Merlin vacuum engine on board the second stage.
Nominal trajectory.
So we're coming up on those events in around 40 seconds, so let's keep a close eye on our screen for those events. Getting some great views of the ascent of the first stage here. You can see the plume of the rocket is expanding as the surrounding atmospheric pressure decreases.
MECO. Stage separation confirmed. And vac ignition.
There we go, folks. You just heard and saw those 3 events that happened back to back. Those were MECO, Stage SEP, and SES-1. Coming up next in around 30 seconds will be fairing separation. As a reminder, on the left side of your screen, you are seeing a live view of the first stage. And on the right side of your screen, you're seeing a live view of the MVAC engine attached to the second stage. Now keep a close eye on the telemetry in the bottom left and right corners of your screen. You can see MVAC is continuing to accelerate the payload faster and faster. And stage 1 is actually slowing down as it is no longer under power of rocket engines.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And there we go. There go those 2 fairing halves. We will be attempting to retrieve both of those again today once they fall back to Earth, and we'll be using our recovery vessel Bob for that. Coming up next are the 2 burns on the first stage, and that is to prepare us for landing on our drone ship. Just read the instructions.
Acquisition signal, Bermuda.
Now we're just about T+4 minutes into today's mission. We are currently in the first of 2 planned MVAC burns prior to satellite deployment. At around T+6 minutes, you should see on your screen the first
Both
stages.
vehicles remain on a nominal trajectory.
You should see the first stage's entry burn at about T+6 minutes. Now for the entry burn, we do relight 3 of the M1D engines, and that's starting with the center E9 engine, followed shortly after by the E1 and E5 engines. And that slows the vehicle down as it passes back into the Earth's atmosphere. Now we need to slow down the vehicle to reduce re-entry forces, and that helps us recover and reuse the first stage. So be sure to follow along with the telemetry in the bottom left and right corners of your screen. During the entry burn, Falcon 9 is decelerating by firing its Merlin engines, but we're still moving very rapidly. So this causes the vehicle to fly through Merlin's exhaust gases, also sometimes called the rocket's plume, and this deposits a layer of soot on the vehicle's surface. And that soot comes from the carbon-based fuel that Falcon 9 uses. So again, coming up on the entry burn in about a minute and 10 seconds from now. Currently getting a great view of the MVAC engine continuing its burn. You can see that beautiful orange glow of the MVAC nozzle extension. That's one of the methods that the nozzle uses to cool itself during burn.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
And there's that call out. We did just start up engines 1, 5, and 9 for the entry burn. This burn is around 20 seconds in total. You can see in the telemetry in the bottom left side of your screen that the vehicle is slowing down rapidly now.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And there we go. Just had confirmation of stage 1 entry burn shutdown. As a reminder, the first stage that's supporting today's mission will perform the entry burn for the 6th time. It has previously supported Crew 5, GPS-3 Space Vehicle 6, Inmarsat I6-F2, CRS-28, and a past Starlink mission. Falcon 9 is, of course, the world's first orbital-class reusable rocket, and this is important because reusability allows SpaceX to refly the most expensive parts of the rocket, and that in turn drives down the cost of space access. Next milestone coming up is the shutdown of the MVAC engine on the 2nd stage, and that'll be followed quickly by our landing burn on the 1st stage.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Stage 1 landing burn. MVAC shutdown.
There's Seagull 1. We're just waiting confirmation of a good orbit and a stage 1 landing.
Nominal orbit insertion.
There we go. Great news there. Confirmation of a good orbit.
Stage 1 landing leg deployed. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
There you have it, folks.
Expected loss to hill, Cape.
That landing marks SpaceX's 213th recovery of an orbital-class rocket, and that includes first stage landings for Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy missions. Now, the mission isn't over just yet. The 2nd stage is now embarking on its first coast phase. After this coast phase, we will light that MVAC engine for a 2nd time around the T+26 minute mark. So we'll see you back here in about 17 minutes. Welcome back to the SpaceX webcast. Tonight's Falcon 9 mission is carrying the Galaxy 37 Horizons 4 satellite to space. We've had a nominal mission so far. Falcon 9 launched on time at 1 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time from Space Launch Complex 40. We did have a successful main engine cutoff, stage separation, first burn of the MVAC engine, and we did successfully land on our drone ship. Just read the instructions. The second burn of the MVAC engine is starting in around 20 seconds from now. This burn should last just about a minute.
MVAC ignition.
And as you just heard and can see on your screen, we did just start up that MVAC engine. This is the second of 2 planned burns for the MVAC engine today. Now, today's mission is what we call a GTO, or Geostationary Transfer Orbit. The current burn is putting the high end of the orbit at an altitude of about 35,000 kilometers or 22,000 miles.
MVAC shutdown.
Nominal payload insertion orbit.
Great news there. Just had confirmation of a good orbit on the second burn. The payload is still attached to the Falcon 9 second stage, and deployment is scheduled in just about 4 minutes from now. So while we wait for that, let's sit back and enjoy the views. If you're just joining us, welcome to the webcast for the Intelsat Galaxy 37 mission. We've had a nominal mission so far with an on-time liftoff at 1 a.m. Eastern Time, followed by successful ascent, stage separation, and 2 second stage engine burns. Now we're coming up on the final mission milestone of the day, and that is payload deployment from our second stage. As a reminder, our customer for today's mission is Intelsat, and they're launching their Galaxy 37 Horizons 4 payload. Manufactured by MaxAir, today's launch will further advance Intelsat's comprehensive Galaxy Fleet refresh plan. And expected to enter service by October of 2023, G-37H4 is a single satellite that will provide North American capacity for television media and telecommunication network customers and continuity for mobility, network, and U.S. government customers. And it will be jointly owned by Intelsat and JSAT International, which is the U.S.-owned subsidiary of SkyPerfect JSAT Corporation.
Galaxy 37 spacecraft separation confirmed.
There we go, folks. With that confirmation of successful payload deployment, that will end our coverage of the Intelsat Galaxy 37 mission. All of us here at SpaceX want to give a big thank you to our customer Intelsat for entrusting us with today's mission. We also want to give a big shout out to the Range and Federal Aviation Administration for supporting today's launch. Today's flight concludes SpaceX's 251st overall mission to date and our 52nd launch of 2023. And of course, thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you again soon.